Welcome back again to This is Healthcare in America. I'm Reid Zeising, founder and CEO of Cherokee Legal Holdings. For those of you who don't know, before the early 90s, insurance was a human endeavor. After an incident, whether it was a car accident or a major storm, insurance adjusters came to your home. They sat in your kitchen. You'd perhaps offer them a glass of water. Face to face, you'd show the adjuster your injuries or damages to your home. They'd prepare a reasonable estimate and satisfy your claims. The industry was run as it should be, for the benefit of policyholders. And then a seismic shift happened. And instead of insurance being run for the benefit of policyholders, it was switched to be run for the benefit of shareholders. Today, I'd like to talk about that shift, all of those years ago, and how it has fundamentally changed the way that healthcare is administered, claims are paid out, how much is offered at settlement, and so much more. So let's get started. Around the 1990s, there were a number of damaging storms that happened. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo ripped through South Carolina, leaving in its wake $4.2 billion of insured yet damaged property. In 1992, Hurricane Andrew stormed through, creating $15.5 billion in claims payments and resulting in the bankruptcy of 11 separate insurance companies. For the insurance companies that did survive, who depended on insurance premiums and investments for income, they believed that something had to be done. Storms were gaining magnitude. Catastrophic models weren't as predictable, and face-to-face assessments were dubbed as being useless, time-consuming, old-fashioned, and inefficient. When the payout is greater than the insurance premiums that customers pay, there is no profit. Around the same time as those destructive storms, Allstate, an American insurance company, hired McKinsey Company, a New York-based consulting firm, to show them how they could increase their bottom line. McKinsey Company's PowerPoint presentation, complete with more than 12,500 slides if you search for it, was a fundamental shift in the insurance business model. The industry quickly went from being for the benefit of policyholders to for the benefit of shareholders. It boiled down to this: avoid paying claims. When you do, pay less. After heeding McKinsey's advice, Allstate saved $700 million and their stock price soared. I'd also like to point out that Allstate ended up paying $2.5 million in fines to the U.S. court systems for not initially handing over this documentation. Also, around this time, instead of the old-fashioned visit from a claims adjuster, computer programs and software began calling the shots. And this is where Colossus comes in, the world's most famous claims denial software package. Colossus was essentially determining claims payments based on statistics, technical data, and mathematical probabilities, all designed to pay out less in settlements. The question, of course, becomes, are those computations fair? Are they non-discriminatory to the injured parties? Or are the probabilities rigged in favor of the insurance companies? After changing their model, Allstate raked in the profits. In the first few years of Colossus implementation, average payouts for bodily injuries dropped more than 20%. Mark Romano, a former Allstate senior executive and top expert in Colossus, described his work as utilizing the program and turning the knobs. In fact, the 1996 McKinsey team even noted initial resistance from the Allstate claims agents, stating there was a serious lack of buy-in. After any major accident, urgency matters for the injured insurance policyholder. The first 180 days hold tremendous financial pressure. Claims, fees, payments, medical bills immediately start piling up. If an individual can no longer work, then who pays the mortgage? Companies like Allstate understand this predicament, which is why they drag their feet on paying insurance claims. David Bernardinelli, author of From Good Hands to Boxing Gloves, The Dark Side of Insurance, details this courtroom power play. He turns Allstate's motto on its head when he notes that the policyholders who accept initial but much smaller claim settlement amounts are in good hands, but that those policyholders who choose to fight and seek legal representation, they receive Allstate's boxing gloves. Companies like Allstate pressure policyholders to settle quickly and accept some money, even though it's a fraction of what the policyholder is due, or they deny and diminish claims so that policyholders have to use their own resources and seek legal representation to fight for a fair settlement. If resources are already scarce, where will the money come from to cover legal fees, mortgage payments, car payments? Policyholders concerned they could spend years in court while their bills go unpaid often feel forced to take what's initially offered. In fact, one McKinsey Company slide for Allstate simply read, "Win by exploiting the economics of the practice of law." To which Bernardinelli added, "All of this is a plan for switching money from the policyholder's pocket to the shareholders' pockets." The alligator approach to sit and wait is done deliberately to frustrate policyholders so they will accept less and walk away. Legal and medical funding, like what Cherokee provides, offers an opportunity to gain access to critical funds in a timely manner and allows attorneys the necessary time to fight for fair settlements or go to trial. Nobody should have to choose between taking a lesser settlement and waiting for a fair settlement or trial because they need money to pay for essentials and their medical care. Legal and medical funding also isn't a loan. So if plaintiffs don't win, or if the amounts they are awarded are less than the bills owed, they only pay what they've recovered. Repayment is contingent on the success of the lawsuit or settlement of their case. After the fundamental shift in the 90s, plaintiffs need to be their own advocates. Insurance is a business model, and it's one that's weighted heavily to tip the scales in favor of the insurance company, not us, the policyholders. What we're asking the healthcare industry to do is clean up their act. We're asking third-party liability carriers to stop focusing so much on shareholders. So what am I or we at Cherokee doing? The Gain Servicing Portal allows healthcare providers to see more patients on lien more efficiently. It also reduces the multiple providers that attorneys have to follow up with at settlement. In short, it enables us to consolidate these liens. It's one small step, in my opinion, towards a more fair and just system. But trust me, we still have a long ways to go. That's all I have for today. Join me next time for This is Healthcare in America. And in the meantime, please stay out of the hospital.